behind every disordered desire is a holy desire. And the disordered desire has as its root a good object, which is my happiness. Like I
Yes.
want to be happy. I
Yes.
want to be fulfilled. And so I think this is going to fulfill me.
Do you want to go through that phrase? Because it's a phrase we talk about at Holy Desire. We didn't talk about it just a few moments ago before we turned on the mics, but I wonder if it's helpful, and then maybe we could go into the catechism quote. But you developed this phrase, and we use it a lot at Holy Desire, the event we do for priests, and it categorizes these dynamics in this nice kind of statement. So what about if I read it, and then you make a comment on it, I'll make a comment on it, and again, I think it's just nice and orienting. Does that feel okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the statement that kind of puts us into this concept of desire. Behind every disordered desire is a holy desire, an unmet need, an unhealed wound, and a hidden pattern of sin. So for example, take anything that you bring to confession. Take anything that you're struggling with, that you're, man, I'm always feeling like, blowing up in anger, or a really common one a lot of people think about is lust. It's kind of obvious and easy to work with. I would actually say there's others like acedia or sloth, the pushing away of things, the disconnection. I think that's coming more and more common. But again, behind every disordered desire like lust or disconnecting from everything is actually a holy desire, an unmet need, unhealed wound, hidden pattern of sin. But break it open. What comes up for you there?
Well, first of all, I think, as you're talking about the disordered desires, the 7 deadly sins, so lust and anger and acedia, sloth, and envy and gluttony, and those are all the things we bring to confession.
Yes.
And so I think it's a game changer for me internally when I move from, okay, this is what I'm struggling with in terms of my temptations or my sin. And I ask myself, okay, what is the good desire that I'm looking for in this? That Catechism 27 talks about the desire for God is written into the human heart. Because we're always searching for happiness. Like that's the constant search, is for happiness, for the good. Yes. And so can I move from my shame, and again, not to discount the shame over sin, over disordered desires, but can I move from that and not get stuck in my shame and go and say, okay, what is the good thing that I'm desiring here, even though my desire is disordered?
Yes. There's, let's take one just to make it practical. So, anyone come to mind? Like I instantly think of gluttony. I think of lust. I think of, some of the other ones, it's not as easy, but those are kind of obvious to kind of practice the exercise. So how about let's take gluttony as an example.
Okay.
So if we run this through that statement, the disordered desire is to consume more than I actually need.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or something,
so for me,
or something that's unhealthy for me, it could be in any of the area of drug, food, drink, all that could be part of gluttony.
Yes. Yeah. So then what's wild, and this is what Aquinas is encouraging us to do, is to actually pause for a moment and ask, what's the holy desire you're actually looking for? So, okay, it's the end of a day. This is a common experience. Common, I don't know where it's common, but anyway, I mean, I've heard about it before. I don't know if I know anybody who actually does it, but I've heard this occurs.
Yeah, you've had clients before that have struggled this way, right?
Yeah, that was right. Thank you for reminding me. I've had some clients who I've watched do this repeatedly. So end of the day, and all of a sudden, these clients, all right, let's be honest, it's me. So I can get to the end of the day, and for some reason, I've had dinner not that long ago, but I want something. And it seems for some reason that chips or cookies or some kind of salty something or some kind of sweet something will satisfy this. So the question then becomes, in that moment, I'm not actually hungry. What am I actually looking for? What's the holy desire that I'm actually looking for? And here'd be one slice at it, and then I'm curious what you would say with this example of gluttony. I think I'm looking for peace. I'm looking for some sense of reassurance that it's okay. I think I'm looking for a version of connection that's like am I alone now? Did it matter? Everything? It's like I'm looking for answers to questions is that's kind of my first reflection at it. What do you think?
Those are all good. I would agree with all of those. I would add some pieces to it. I'd say looking for pleasure.
Yeah.
Right? Looking for comfort.
Yes.
Looking for satiation.
Yes.
And I think at a deeper level, as you talked about feeling alone, I'm looking for fulfillment. I'm looking for fill the emptiness.
Right.
Like I don't like that gnawing feeling of emptiness or uncertainty, or I want to maybe quiet feelings of anxiety.
Yes.
And change the chemical reactions in my bodies by having something to eat.
Yes. And what's crazy is that there are a few things that are very effective at that, and they're usually the things that are most addictive: food,
yep,
sex, some kind of drug. And I don't like literal drugs or alcohol or marijuana. They just create chemical reactions. And so what's wild is that the desire for drugs is actually rooted in a holy desire. This is what Aquinas is saying, and this is kind of the point we're trying to make here with regard to desire. And I think, Bob, the point here, amongst everything we're saying, is if we're not careful, these disordered desires leave us in incredible shame.
Yeah.
If we can't acknowledge some of this stuff that's under the surface, which we're getting at, like you're actually looking for something good, Jake or other people, like you're actually wanting something good. Let's acknowledge that. That's what Aquinas is saying. You're not just making that up to try to make yourself feel better.
Right. Yeah. And, that underneath that is an unmet desire. That's the next layer of the thing. And so what is desire? Desire is the searching for something not yet met.